Welcome to the Neophyte In The Woods podcast with Andrew McDowell.
Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Neophyte in the Woods. I'm your host, Andrew McDowell, and I have two guests who are going to be joining me on a special trip this weekend. I've got Eddie and Hannah from Eddie is obviously from the show, and Hannah is Eddie's daughter, and they'll be joining me along with our fellow show host Bennett and Hannah out in the western part of the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, doing a little bit of squirrel hunting and camping this weekend. This episode will air just before we head to the woods and try to put some squirrels on the ground. Guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, good to be here. Talk.
I don't know what to say.
So
yeah, we're excited. This is our first rodeo, both of us doing this squirrel hunting thing.
yeah, mine too. Mine too.
Yeah, rodeo.
It's a rodeo. Yeah, we're literally gonna ride the squirrels.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's gonna be weird, but I think that's being uncomfortable going into these new things is something really that I think is great for everybody.
Yeah, man. You done any squirrel hunting before?
No, I mean I've walked around in the woods, a good deal, but it's mostly been during deer or turkey season when squirrels closed. So we're blazing new territory for me. I was out bird hunting on Saturday, and I'm like bug bitten to hell and back from it. And I was looking for squirrels, but there was so much shooting on the management area that everything except for us and the woodcock I shot were hiding quite wisely.
So you just shot, what'd you say, a woodcock?
A woodcock, a timber doodle. It's a
What?
little
What the hell is that?
It's sadly it's really cute. I didn't tell my wife exactly which animal it is. But it's a little like kind of slightly larger than a robin migratory game bird. They got a long beak. They spend most of their lives on the ground, eating like worms and bugs. And when they flush, and they fly straight up about 15 feet, and then take off flying really fast. And they're really nimble in the air. So they're a tough little bird to hit. Not like a pheasant that just basically flies up and then flies straight in another direction. These guys definitely like dodge around and fly between branches and around trees. So it's a little bit of an exercise to hit them.
So you try to take them out while they're on the ground, or once they take off?
No, that's a good way to get somebody else to shoot you. You wait until they take off and you shoot them while they're flying, just like most other birds. It's like that's one of those. There's a couple of unwritten rules of upland hunting that I was not familiar with until I started doing it. And one of them was don't shoot anything on the ground because you might shoot some guy's $6,000 bird dog, and then you're gonna likely get a load of very hot force shot to the face. And people get shot on the wildlife management areas with a disturbing amount of frequency. I'm not going to say it's all because somebody took a shot at a running bird on the ground, but I'm sure that some of it is.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, you shoot out when they fly, and it's kind of like shooting skeet, but with cover for the bird. So it
Nice.
was pretty fun. I'm proud to say that I took one shot all day, and that shot absolutely dropped the woodcock. It was almost perfect.
Now, did you cook this thing up and eat it yet?
No, it's frozen. So the woodcock is not, I think, by all accounts, delicious eating. Most of the people I've talked to say it has a little bit of a sharp taste. Um,
Did you just
Also
say shark?
Sharp.
sharp,
Oh,
SHARP,
shark.
like sharp like a
Yeah,
knife.
because that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, man. I've never had either, so who knows?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's the guy I was hunting with, grew up hunting woodcock and pheasant, and we were hunting over his dog. And he says that his grandmother used to like cook them in olive oil with some garlic, just brown them up and then throw them
Hmm.
into the pasta sauce that she was making, with the meatballs and the sausage and all the rest of it. And the meat really tenderizes, and the tomatoes kind of offset the, I think, challenging flavor potentially of it. And it's supposed to be pretty tasty. So I'm gonna.
So this is like bird do you eat to stay alive, not because it tastes good.
I think it depends on who you ask. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that's the approach that I'm gonna be taking with it.
Nice.
You know, I I'm proud to say I shot one, and I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to killing them. And I'm likely never to take another shot on one, just
Mhm.
because, I shot the bird. The shell cost, I don't know, 18 cents, and I got literally two chicken nuggets and two like little bite-sized legs, and that was about it.
But it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I walked, probably that day I walked about 5 miles,
Wow.
through heavy cover, and it was a great day. Uh, I wish I'd come home with a pheasant too, because a pheasant is really good eating, and a great meal for two. Um, One pheasant will serve two people a pretty nice dinner. Um, but it wasn't in the cards, so I'm hoping to get out again when it gets a little bit colder, and the pheasant are running. They're stocked, so they're dumb. Um, they don't have the survival instincts that a wild pheasant would have. But they're smart enough to run into the woods when hunters come in the morning, and then they kind of drift back out in the afternoon. And what's nice about hunting in the afternoon is they tend to move to a little bit lighter cover because they want to warm up, and they can't warm up as well in the really heavy cover. So hunting in the afternoon in November is great pheasant hunting. So that's what I'm waiting for right now.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So squirrel has an actual season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and is that I just don't understand. It's not because we're in danger of killing off the species or anything, I
No.
don't think.
No, it's I think like a lot of hunting, it's kind of tied into the mating season. Um, so the squirrel rut begins in like late August and goes through late fall, early winter, depending on where you're at. And they just happen to be more active, and I think it's part of that overall wildlife management approach that you want to give them a chance to breed before you shoot them and eat them.
Right. Okay.
Um, So that's why it tends to be in the fall. Also, I mean, from a personal standpoint, I really don't want to shoot a squirrel when it's 90 degrees out and I have to
Yeah.
carry
No
it through the woods
kidding,
for
huh?
another 2 or 3 hours. Um, that's going to be a pretty rancid squirrel pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, man.
But
So what's our game plan going into this? Now in Massachusetts, I learned this
mhm.
reading the website. Like like shooting or hunting on Sundays is illegal,
Yeah, it's
right?
one of
So
those blue laws.
yeah, which is I found very strange.
Yep.
I mean most guys that hunt, I say most guys. I don't know. I'm shooting in the dark here, but I would say that a lot of guys that hunt probably work Monday through Friday. So
Yep.
getting out on the weekends like the only time they get a hunt, but they can only hunt one of the 2 days, which
Yes,
kind of sucks.
precisely. It does. It yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie, I'm torn about it. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but I'm fortunate enough to have some banked vacation time every year, so I can take some serious time off, on the order of a week to hunt every day. But if I didn't have that option, I think I'd want to be able to hunt on Sundays.
Mm.
But at the same time, I personally am happy that it's not an option for me. I mean, I could drive to New Hampshire or Vermont to go hunting on a Sunday if I really wanted to. But I don't feel the pressure that I think I would if it was an option for me right now. I really put a lot of value on my time in the woods and what I'm hoping to bring home from there. And I think that if I felt the pressure to be out on Sundays, I would be out on Sundays. And I feel like I would be missing a lot of family time. So I understand the urge, but at the same time, I'm mixed in my opinion about
Yeah.
whether or not it should be legal. For me, I'm not going to go out in the woods on a Sunday. If
So,
I can.
so why does Massachusetts have that law anyway? What's the
It's it's
reason?
it's left over from the blue laws, kind of passed by the Puritans, um, way back in the day that didn't allow stores to be open on Sundays. It's tied to kind of the quasi-religious roots of this region in particular,
Mm.
but Massachusetts in very specific.
Mm.
Up until I think it was the mid '90s, you couldn't buy or sell alcohol on Sundays. I mean, it was against 100% against the law to do that. And obviously we've gotten rid of that because I need a six pack of beer before I can torture myself with the Patriots. Um, but it's kind of one of the last holdovers of that. It's like that and no happy hour specials at bars in Massachusetts. Like those are the last two
Wow,
like blue laws that I think are really on the books.
that's crazy.
It just
And they're just like, oh, what the hell, man? They've been laws for so long. Why change it, right?
Well, no, I mean every single year a bill gets on the docket to in the general court in Massachusetts, which we call our legislature, to eliminate the no hunting on Sundays rule, and it almost always passes one house or the other, and then miraculously seems to die.
Huh.
Um, so I think there's a lot of butthurt and cynicism about that, and I think that if we as hunters really want to make that a priority, we should make that a priority, but we can't just blame non-hunters for it not passing. I think if it's not passing and if it's not getting traction, we as hunters are not doing a good job of selling it.
Right.
Um, you know, Hunters provide the vast majority of money for conservation in this state and nationally and globally. And I think that that's something that really needs to be part of this message is, yeah, we want to go out in the woods, we want to shoot a deer, but at the end of the day, Massachusetts just announced $500,000, I think, in grants for habitat improvement. The
Hmm.
vast majority, I'm going to say on the order of 90% of that, came directly from license sales in this state.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
just
like I said, I had to buy an out-of-state license to
yep,
go hunting this weekend, and I think I mean, with all the different weird additional fees that they
yep,
throw onto that thing, I ended up paying like I don't know, like $70 or
yep,
something.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that we don't have a lot of hunters coming from out of state to hunt small game. I think
Mm,
we have a
right.
pretty good
Yeah.
turkey population. But that's obviously a separate tag and all of that. But you know, $70 for an out of state license is, I'm not making light of anything, but that's cheap.
Hmm.
When I'm trying to figure out how to get to Maine this year to go hunt a buddy's farm for deer, and my license would be 160 or $170 just for the license and one tag.
Wow. Holy cow.
So it adds up pretty quick. But as a hunter in this state who believes in conservation and wants habitat improvement, I thank you
Yeah.
for your contribution.
Right. It's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And so
Oh, that's cool.
I was going to say, let's turn this around. Let's have you not interview me on my own show. Let's talk about you know the other side of the conversation. Kind of your hopes and dreams. Because Eddie, I know you did a little bit of hunting before you went in, but really haven't gotten back to it.
I'll be honest with you. I did very little hunting before I joined the Army, and I really haven't done any hunting after the Army. So I'd have to say the bulk of my hunting experience in my life, 99%, I'd have to say, of my hunting experience has been hunting other men, hunting bad guys. And, most of the bullet exchanges that most of the trigger pulling that I've done has been, at human beings. So it's different.
Yep.
It's different for me. I don't know. Let's just say that some guys get out of the military, and that's the first thing that they look for is to build their AR-15 and get out to the gun range or buy a tag and go and hunt, and they just got to get back behind the glass, and they got to get back and pulling triggers, and there's a lot of calming attributes to that, I guess. But then there's people like me that just really kind of avoided it for a long, long, long time. And I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot of things about shooting that brings back a lot of memories. I mean, they say that the sense of smell is some of the biggest what do you call it? Like memory triggers that you can have. And just the smell of the carbine and the gun smoke and the gunpowder and even the cleaning solution. I got home last weekend. We went and sighted in the 22, and I came home and pulled out the old weapons cleaning kit and got the old CLP out and started to wipe it down, and just a lot of the smells and actions around firing and weapons and guns bring back a lot of memories. Not all of them are all that good. So it's a different thing for me, I think. But I think I'm at the point now where, I can put it in its place, recognize it for what it is, and then make it be something. I don't make it anything that it isn't. You know what I mean? Like I don't dwell on it or anything like that. But I think it's time to build good memories around things like that, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring my daughter Hannah with us, is because it's our first time doing anything like this, and we wanted to I wanted to share the experience with her, so it'd be really kind of something that we can think back on and talk about for years to come, I think.
Sure. And Hannah, what are you excited about?
I don't really know. It's more like it's an exciting experience, but I'm also very nervous because the only animal I've killed was a chicken.
Yep.
Well. That's just only one.
Well, they call the squirrel chicken of the trees, so it's going to be the exact same.
Nice.
Yeah.
I put that chicken through a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think I shared a story on one of the episodes a while back with I told the story about how Hannah and I went and butchered a chicken, and
I didn't have enough strength to.
Yeah, she was little at the time, and she just wailed on that thing with a hatchet. We got it dead though, huh?
Well, after like 15 hits.
Yeah, it turned into a very bloody massacre, and at the end of it, my wife and I just looked at each other and were like, "Damn, we are not getting any like Parents of the Year awards for this."
I bet you guys are like secretly thinking that you're raising a serial killer.
My God, what are we doing to her?
Well, we're gonna go for clean kills this weekend, so hopefully it won't be a problem.
Hopefully.
What are you looking forward to the most, Hannah, in this trip? Is it the hunting, or is it the camping, or
eating?
You really?
I like food.
Okay.
Yeah, you're seriously. Yeah. So
yes.
we brought. All right. So this is what we're bringing. We made some homemade sausage gravy, like biscuits and gravy.
White gravy.
Yeah, white gravy with sausage, and then we're gonna bake some fresh biscuits before we head down.
Nice.
We'll have biscuits and gravy. We're gonna skillet, and then I got some eggs. So if nothing else, we're gonna have biscuits and gravy and eggs, and then I also got some Hooters bread batter.
Hooters.
And it's for the Hooters chicken wings.
Okay.
And and we're gonna use that in a Ziploc bag. So we're gonna skin and gut and part out the squirrel and throw a few of them into a bag and do like a shake up and
Shake
toss
and
them out.
bake.
There you go, man. We're gonna give, you know what I mean? Like,
It's
I
shake
think
and
that would
bake, and I
make
helped.
I think that'd make an excellent meal. What do you
I think so, absolutely.
It sounds nice. I
Yeah.
hope it is.
And I
Yeah.
think Bennett's gonna bring a skillet and he's got a different. So what's the limit again? 5 apiece, right?
It's 5 apiece per day. So obviously, we're only going to be able to hunt on Saturday.
Yeah.
So we gotta shoot 5. I'm going to hopefully the day this airs on Thursday, I'm gonna hit the woods by myself because I need to go pull some trail cameras. But the season has opened up in this part of the state too as of Saturday. So I'm gonna try to at least have a couple of squirrels on hand for us to
Nice.
bring along. So I'll freeze them if I harvest anything. I'll freeze it down and bring it along with me.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna bring them, just dead, and that way we could just kind of fire the gun. You'll chuck one against the tree, and we'll just call it, that we shot one.
I mean, we can do that too if you really want to get desperate about it. But so here's a question: have you guys done research into like the ins and outs of squirrel hunting yet?
So, well, the first thing we did was we watched that show that you recommended,
Meat Eater.
Meat Eaters, right?
Yep.
We watched that episode. Took me a while to find it, but yeah, I found it. And that's one of the first thing that caught my attention was the fact that a lot of squirrel hunting, it appears, is done with dogs.
Down there, yeah, in the south, it's big.
Yeah.
Or
so,
it used to be bigger. I think it's kind of a dying art.
well, I got my daughter, so we can
Yep.
kind of get her out in front and just kind of.
Call me a dog.
No.
Is that what you're referencing to?
No, I just figured you can kind of get out there and round them up and work them back towards us, right?
You are calling me a dog.
But the one thing that caught my attention after the fact that I saw them, I mean, we're talking a lot of dogs too, like 5, 6, 7
Yep,
dogs.
little pack.
Yeah, it's like crazy. But the way that they skinned it, like
Yep.
they just kind of cut the little slit there behind the tail, and then took a block or a rock or whatever, and stepped on the tail, and then grabbed the back hind legs and kind of steady pull upwards and stripped that sucker right off.
Yeah,
I
it's
find that very incredible.
It you can do the same thing with a rabbit too. It reminds me, and this is a little bit disturbing, but like undressing my daughter when we're putting her for bed, it's kind of the same thing. You just you strip off her pants and then you strip off her shirt, and see that's literally what dressing out a squirrel for in terms of skinning is. It's literally pulling off its pants and pulling off its shirt.
Well, I don't do that with my daughter anymore.
she's a
Whoa,
little
now. Whoa.
Whoa.
Let's just stop it right there. Put an end to it.
But yes, that's how we used to. I think. That was
Yeah.
a
Okay,
while
whoa.
ago.
And so I will.
Don't want to hear about it.
I've got plenty of knives, so I'll bring one. So hopefully, if we at least get 4 squirrels, everybody can do one.
Yeah, we got some knives. We went and got some some CCI rounds.
Great.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, Sunday. Yesterday
yeah.
we went and got some rounds. And I tried to see if they sold another, like the 22 magazine.
Yep.
I only got that one magazine and it holds 10 rounds, which isn't a big deal, but damn it, when you're on the move and you're walking or you're chasing
Yeah.
something, it takes some time to stop and reload and kind of sucks. But,
Well, who the 22's a Remington?
yeah.
All right. Well, I can I got a couple of local shops near me. I'll pop into them if you send me the model number of on the gun itself. I'll see if anybody has them.
Okay, I'll look. Yep.
I'm bringing my my old trusty Remington 870 that I use for just about everything.
Yep.
So I'll be taking that. I have a guest on the show who's going to air during November. A guy named Jim, who listens to the show. Hey, Jim. Talking about squirrel hunting. It's one of the things we talked about in there. And he makes the point that there's not a tree in New England that you can't reach the top of with a shotgun and an extra full choke.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm bringing, just for a little bit of diversity. And
Nice.
Bennett, in addition to bringing the Tanton family circus tent, um, will be I think he's bringing his 20 gauge. So we have kind of the diversity of platforms with which to harvest some squirrels. So that'll be
Now,
great.
I think his 20 gauge is of the pistol grip sawed off type, isn't it?
No, that was his super tactical Marine 12 gauge.
Oh,
He
okay.
was saying he was saying that earlier. I think the 20 gauge that he's bringing is more of a traditional shotgun.
Okay. God, we're gonna look silly chopping through the. Now there is no sneaking up on squirrels, bro. Not this time of year.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
pretty crunchy out there, man.
You gotta be stealthy. You gotta be like a ninja.
Healthy ninja.
No, I mean squirrels operate on instinct, and they don't have terrific memories. So kind of the plan is, if we find a likely grove of either oak trees or cedar or kind of another nut bearing um, tree. If we can see them while we're a ways off, we can try to ghost in on them. But if not, they have a memory, a short-term memory that lasts about half an hour. So if we find a likely grove, we can kind of all sit in a line, very quietly, very still at the base of trees, looking up, and just basically wait for them to forget that we were even there. And once we do that, they'll start to come back out, and we can start taking pot shots.
Oh God, that reminds me back when I was in high school. I used to do that in class. Just sit there in about 30 minutes, totally forget I was even there.
Excuse me.
So the 22's got to be kept relatively ground level. I mean, more ground shots. I'm not going to be unless I'm taking a shot against like the square,
Square of the tree, yeah. I think
Yeah,
that
exactly.
your better bet is not to shoot stuff out on branches. I mean, now the place where we're going, the Beartown State Forest is huge. I mean, it's multiple thousands, if not tens of thousands of acres.
Oh, okay.
However, you know the bullet from a 22 can still travel a mile and a half and potentially be lethal.
Oh
So
yeah.
we don't want to take, obviously, shots that could be risky or go down range, because obviously you're responsible for every bullet that leaves your gun. So I think that the plan for you is going to be more take the shots of the squirrel against a tree,
Yeah.
where Bennett and I, because we're shooting shotguns with lots of smaller pellets that lose their momentum a lot quicker, we can take the shots on up against a tree if we have the shot, but also the stuff out on limbs, because I'm not really worried about a 12 gauge shotgun pellet traveling a mile and a half and hitting
Yeah.
somebody in downtown Monterey,
Yeah.
like I would be, with a 22.
And Hannah, last week we went and sighted in the 22 down there in Mass. That was Hannah's first time really getting behind anything ever.
It's actually I think my first time touching a gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought
pretty
she
good.
did. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I spent a lot of time, behind the butt of some weapons, sitting next to Joe, teaching Joe how to pull up a buttstock and get behind the weapon and look down the sight posts, and let's just say that a lot of guys in the military didn't pick that up as quick as Hannah did. I'm not just saying that just because you're my daughter, but yeah, you definitely kind of got a natural knack for it, and the fact that you're lefty too. So she's quasi ambidextrous.
Okay.
So it's one of those, like, it's like whichever you feel the most comfortable, that's where you should focus in trying to
Take
get
shots. Yep.
take a shot. So which is good. The only problem is it's got that right eject port, so she's got to be a little bit careful because she'd end up with some hot ones down the shirt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm bringing along my my hunting sweatshirts for you guys, so they all zip up real high, so we don't have to worry about that quite as much. Bennett's on his own, he better bring his own goddamn gear.
Oh yeah, he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he has no end of it.
He's probably got more shit than both of us put together.
I don't doubt it. So, kind of continuing with this theme of, excited about, is there anything you guys are nervous about? I know, Eddie, you were deeply concerned that we're in black bear country and they're all trying to fatten up for the winter.
Yeah, no, hold on, my dog is barking.
Yeah.
Quiet. But that was more of a joke about Bennett's 13-person tent. I was like 13-person tent. I was like, that's not a tent, that's a bear buffet. So that's where that came about, because I don't know if I've ever even seen. That's like a GP medium, bro. 13 people? Are you kidding me?
Honestly,
oh my God.
I'm a little concerned that it's going to fit on the campground. Like I'm thinking about throwing a 4-person tent in my in the back of my rig and
probably
and
not a bad idea. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that just to be safe.
So it's going to take some time. I don't know. I don't know what this thing looks like, but 13-man tent, it's got to be,
8 by
something.
8.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a little bit of doing to get that thing up. And then we got the the firewood, and I thought, we'd go all out and we actually do the the caveman rub two sticks together to start a fire thing, but
no, I think we're going to embrace modern technology. There's this great invention called matches.
Yeah, that's great. Lighter,
yeah,
that'll work.
Yep, bring any of that stuff. I made a little fire kit. I just got to go get some some Vaseline, and we'll be good to go on that front.
Nice.
So, one of the things that I always meet, I don't hunt like big territory. I hunt little like pocket habitat, so I don't really need a fire kit, right? I mean, if I get lost, I just walk in any direction and I'll hit a street,
right?
Within an hour at the very, very most.
Oh yeah, you can't get anywhere in this part of the country without running into somebody within a very short amount of time.
Except for where we're going to be hunting in far western Massachusetts. So you could definitely get pretty lost pretty quick, pretty easy. So I'm planning for the worst. I put together like a little emergency fire kit to take with us, when we hit the woods and all of that stuff. So,
do you have any maps of this area?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull one off of GIS at work on Friday, while I'm trying very hard not to focus on my job and more focus on the weekend.
I'm gonna try to get out of work early Friday myself, because my plan is to kind of get everything ready to go, packed up, and then get to bed early Friday so we can get up at Dark Stupid Saturday and actually probably drive as close to there as we can.
Okay.
If not there, all the way there. Because it's probably, from where I live, it's probably shorter distance to drive straight there than it would be to go to your house and then over, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and we can find like a park and ride or something for you guys to drop your car at.
Yeah, right.
And I'll just RV there and throw everything in the back of my rig and go together.
Yeah, man.
What I'm hoping against hope is that, because it's late in October and it's not quite winter camping, but it's not summer camping, that we have basically the run of the joint. And if it comes down to it, I think renting a campsite is about $12.
Nice.
So if it comes down to it and there's not a ton of demand, I'm thinking I'm just going to rent a second one, and we can stash our cars there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because you're only allowed 2 cars per campsite. I'm sure if it's empty, we can probably ignore that.
It's typically much cooler this time of year than it is right now.
Yeah, it's freaking me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at the weather. It's going to be up in the high 60s during the day and drop down into the low 40s at night while we're there.
Right.
So I'm going to bring my the pants that I normally wear while I'm doing chores in the woods, and a couple of sweatshirts and my base layers. Not my deer hunting base layers, but the stuff that I'd wear turkey hunting in the spring. It's kind of like a compression shirt and a shirt on over that.
Right.
So there's no real need this time of year to bundle up, especially if we're going to be in a GP medium and snuggled up to the fire for the evening
Right.
portion.
Exactly.
But I hate being cold, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible.
Well, I'm excited. Are you
Yeah.
excited?
Yeah, I have.
You are?
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been yawn.
All right. You gonna kill us some squirrel?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. We're gonna clean up.
Yep. I
Or-
hope so.
And if we
I mean,
don't, I
and
have
I
some
see-
good to-go
I-
meals, and you guys can eat batter and
Better.
Yeah.
Yes. I see these. I get out of my car when I get to work, and these gray squirrels are literally, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 of them running around the parking lot of where I work, and I'm just like, oh my god! Every day I see these things. And it's like it'll be our luck. We'll drive all the way out there with guns, and then won't be a single freaking squirrel anywhere. But no, we'll see them. We'll get them.
We'll get 'em.
Because we can shoot like rabbits in season. We can shoot if we see squirrel, and then those woodpecker things you're talking about.
Woodcock. Yep.
There you go.
Don't shoot a woodpecker. Do not, please, for the love of God, shoot a woodpecker. It's like a federal.
Oh,
protected.
well, let's not do that then.
No good, no bueno. Woodcocks, crow, or as Bennett insists we call them because we're willing to eat them, rook, rabbit.
You don't eat crow, do you?
I would if.
I mean, if you're gonna like die in the woods, you'd sure, but you wouldn't hunt crow and eat it, would you?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Try anything once.
Maybe. I don't know. Crow though. Would you eat crow?
Perhaps.
What did Bennett call him? Rook?
Rook. He said you call them rook when you want to eat them.
Huh. Never heard that before. Okay.
It's a new one by me too. But I have a crow call that I use for scout and turkey, so I'll bring that too.
All right. Hell yeah, man.
It'll be good. It's gonna be great.
Kill something out there. I don't know what, but we're gonna kill something.
Hell yeah.
And we're gonna eat whatever we kill. So.
Yep.
Hopefully not.
And it's right on a big lake with good fishing, so I'm throwing my fishing rod in the back seat, and maybe
Hell yes.
maybe we'll get a little surf and turf action going.
Nice. That'd be excellent.
Yes. Excellent. So
Very cool.
either of you guys have a concluder you want to throw in before we go our separate ways for the evening?
A concluder? No, I don't. Do you?
Nope.
I do. I think we're gonna actually do a live. Aren't we planning on doing something
Live
Saturday
tape.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah, live to tape. Right. But
Yep, so
be
we'll,
on scene. We'll talk about our day and how it went, and
Maybe tell a couple of ghost stories that Eddie doesn't believe in, and
yes, ghost stories.
it'll be great.
Bigfoot. Kill Sasquatch. Would you eat it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, me too. I think I would.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, first you gotta document it all.
Oh, absolutely. Pictures, everything, and then we're gonna just like carve off a piece of like hindquarters and eat some Sasquatch ass.
I wonder if that's cannibalism.
Oh God, I don't know. I'd do it still. I don't care.
Well, that's a little crude.
Savage.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Good talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Oh. Thanks for having us on. Had a good time.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see you Saturday.
All right, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Peace. Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Neophyte In The Woods. Just popping in real quick, wanting to do a quick kind of bumper out here. We here at Neophyte In The Woods and the Change Your POV Network do this all out of the goodness of our hearts. We legitimately love and are passionate about the subjects about which we speak. However, that doesn't mean that we're not absorbing some costs. And one of the ways we're trying to address the overhead costs associated with putting out these podcasts is to do Patreon, and you can find a link to it right down at the bottom in the kind of the episode show notes on our website. If you could donate anything that you're able to support us and help us get this content coming out to you, it would be very much appreciated. There are tiers of membership from $1 all the way up to 10, and you can donate more than that. For our backers, our Patreon patrons, we do offer some unique content. We've been doing weekly shows where we do a live stream and we talk about a quote on Mondays. It's normally right around 8 p.m. Eastern. There's also some other cool rewards, including the level at which I back at $10 a month. You can actually get, believe it or not, a signed autographed picture of our fearless leaders, Bennett and Eddie. It really changed my life. It sits actually right up above the computer where I record all this stuff. I take it with me when I go hunting. I take it with me when I go fishing. I take it with me when I go to work. It goes everywhere with me. Some people have an EDC pocket knife. I have an EDC picture of Bennett and Eddie. I would really strongly suggest you back us and keep the good work that we're doing coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. Thanks for leaving us reviews on iTunes. And we'll talk to you next week.